All right, welcome back to another review, and today I want to take a look at the Masters of the Universe New Eternia's Clawful Warrior with a Grip of Evil. Now, before we get into taking a look at this character, I want to say I apologize for saying in my Ram Man video that Hasbro is listening. Hasbro, maybe they are, maybe they're not. Don't really care. I meant to say Mattel, so I do apologize for that. Mattel is listening to us as far as giving us this better articulation when it comes to these figures. That's what I was trying to say, and I made a mistake. So my apologies to Mattel and all the other Motu fans out there, so I apologize for that. But anyway, getting started, this guy here, Clawful, they say that there's a nightmarish legend, well known among the seafaring adventurers of the New Eternia. The king of the Claw people can shipwreck an entire vessel with a single snap. He has been rumored to piling the wreckage and drag seafarers to the deepest, darkest waters. Captains change their course at the mere mention of his name. But they're only rumors, right? Anyway, I just figured I'd give that quick read of the bio before we get into taking a look at this guy. And also, I just want to also say, yeah, this guy's first appearance was back in 1983 in the cartoon. That's when he first appeared. He was created by Robbie London, and he was voiced by Lou Scheimer back in 1983, and he was voiced by Scott McNeil in the 2002 version of the Masters of the Universe. Crazy. And I'm excited to have this figure. I really am. They've done a beautiful job with this guy here, just like they have with Faker, Ram Man. And if you guys haven't seen that Ram Man review, go check it out. I mean, Ram Man, he's just a gorgeous figure, and so isn't Clawful. And so isn't Faker. They're just gorgeous figures. Mattel is definitely listening to the fact of what people want when it comes to this line. They're knocking these figures out of the park. Now, enough of my rambling. Let's get into taking a look at this guy's accessories, because he does come with a plethora of stuff. Now, one more mention I have to say. I picked both Ram Man, Faker, and Clawful. All three of these guys, I got them off of Big Bad Toy Store. All right. I failed to mention that in either one of those previous videos that I've done, so I want to mention that now because I was asked where I have picked these guys up, and that's where I got them. I have not found them in a local store. I got them from BBTS, and this guy is a deluxe version just like Ram Man was. So with that being said, let's get into taking a look at this guy's accessories. First and foremost, he comes with his shield, and it's just yellow plastic. I don't know why Clawful came with a shield. I don't remember him coming with a shield back in the day. I remember him just coming with the mace that he has, which I'm going to show off here in a second. But it's cool. It's a shield. I think Faker should have come with his shield, but that's just my opinion. Next, we have his bicep armor. I don't remember him coming with this either, but that's actually pretty cool that this is going to slide up on his bicep and gives him a little bit more armor on the figure himself. Now here we have Clawful's battle harness, and this is actually a throwback to the cartoon. When Clawful first came out, he wore a battle harness, if I'm not mistaken, that had this jewel in the front, and I think that's a really cool homage to the original looking dragon type Clawful from the original cartoon series. And next is his battle mace. Now this is really cool because this guy came with this mace, but this mace originally came in the weapons that came with Castle Grayskull originally. And then when this guy came out, they gave him this weapon. So really cool. And they did the guard here because I remember the fact that you had to slide it in for him to be able to hold it in the small pincher that he has on his left arm. And this is really cool. This is his armor for his back. It is a giant crab shell. And I like it. I think it's really cool the way that they've done this. Now, in my opinion, even though he has this part of his armor, this could have been a really cool shield for him, in my opinion. And I always thought that he was a lobster, not a crab, but this is really cool. All right, now that I've shown off all of his accessories, let's talk about Clawful himself. Now, when I was a kid and I watched him, you know, in the old cartoon and everything, um, he never looked like a crab. He always looked kind of like a dragon type lobster. I always thought he was a lobster, but you know, look, the way I see it, he can either be half, you know, man, half crab, or mutated man into crab, or lobster. It doesn't really make a difference. I always thought lobsters had one giant claw and one smaller claw on the other hand, so that's kind of my reference. You know, either way, it doesn't make a difference. It's your choice on how you want him to be. So, with that being said, let's take a look at this guy here, and what they have done with him is amazing. I mean, look at the head sculpt. That is great. I love the fact that they included the fin on top of the head. His eyes are all whited out, which makes him really menacing. You know, he does have little pupils in there. I don't know if they're coming through on the camera, but they're actually kind of like a little tiny yellow pupil, which is amazing that they included that. So really, really neat. I love the fact that he has the teeth coming up, just like on the vintage toy did, and I mean, just beautiful. Moving down to the actual torso, we have his shell on his body, so he already has his armor on the, you know, that, well, is naturally grown on him, right? And then you have his human-looking arms going down to his pincers, which are claws, whatever you want to call them. Now, I prefer mine to have the bigger on the top than the small one. I know the original one, the bigger one was on the bottom and it had that little lever on it. That's fine. I like it with it on the top. So that's cool. I like the way they put the crack in there. You know, you have a little bit kind of like the barnacle kind of growing on there on his on the claw. So I thought that was pretty cool. All the little bumps going on to the human part of himself, and then the tiny little claw as well. I mean, you can always turn them sideways and it would be just like a crab or a lobster, the way they would carry or hold their claws. Anyway, moving down, you have his belt, which is nice colored blue, on down to the actual I forgot the name, but anyway, this part down here, and then to the back, nice fuzzy shorts. And then I like the way they did the spine in the back as well. Nice detailing on the shell all the way through. And then you move down to his legs. Now, we all know that these legs were used for him and Buzz Off, but there was at one point in time to where he actually had the serpent feet. That was like the second release back in the day, or was the first release? I can't remember which. If anybody knows, leave it in the comments down below. But these were not the original feet. I don't think that he actually came with in the original toy. I think the original one, he had the, you know, like Skeletor's feet. He had those type of feet, and then I think there was another release, and then it came with these feet. I'm not exactly sure on which one came first, if it was this one or the actual, you know, like type of Skeletor claw type feet. But anyway, I like the way they did the barnacles and stuff on the actual shins of the feet, making its way down to the feet, I should say. And yeah, I mean, you know, if you have Buzz Off, you know that these are shared with him. So, I mean, this is just amazing. Just amazing the way they've done this figure. I'm really, really ecstatic. So as far as articulation goes, it's the standard articulation when it comes to this line, as far as the Masterverse or the new Eternia line. But I will say, look at that ab crunch right there. I mean, that is great. So, I mean, without going through all of the articulation, let's just say you want to have him, and I'm going to do my best here to kind of have him posed out, to put him in a pose for you guys. And of course, my knee here is, oh, that's so tight, so tight. But you can get him. His head kind of doesn't have some articulation on here, but that's okay. The neck piece is what is hindering him. But besides that, I mean, let's just say you want to have him kind of, you know, like he's going to be attacking or whatever, or blocking, or whatever the case. He's going to be punching. I don't know what you want to say at this point. But there's a quick little pose with him. But he does have his, I just go over everything. He does have his, bicep swivel and his double jointed elbows here, which, as you see, my knees were a little stiff. And as far as my elbow, this elbow is a little stiff too. There it goes. It's stiff. It's not hindered. So I guess, you can turn this around. To me, I guess that's fine as well to have it like this, but I do like the way with the larger part of the claw on the top. It just, you can have him reaching out like he's getting ready to grab you by the neck. Let's see. There we go. Actually, I have this. This is going to be turned a little bit more this way to get that range of motion. There we go. And he's reaching out. So not too bad. Can I get him into like kind of a walk? Let's see. That claw is definitely big. I do like the fact that they gave him some nice articulation when it comes to the upper abdomen there. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I think that like I said, Mattel has been listening to us as far as what we are asking for in these figures. And that's not too bad. That's a little menacing if you ask me as far as what we're getting here. All right, so anyway, enough of the articulation. We know we have the double jointed knees and the upper thigh swivel. He has his boot swivel, and then of course his ankle articulation, which is normal for this guy. What I really want to show off is how he works with his accessories. So let's get him situated. Give me 1 second to get him situated, and what I will do is I will get him set back up and we will take a look at him with his accessories. All right, so now that I got Clawful all situated and ready to rock and roll, let's start with his battle harness. So taking the battle harness and just slipping it up and over. Of course, now you're gonna get that kind of animated look. And as we all know, that this is just going to kind of just slide through here. This is my first time doing this on him. I have not put it on him otherwise. Let's get this all situated and show it off. We all know how this all works when it comes to these harnesses. But this one here, on this side, it's just giving me a slight bit of difficulty. There we go. I got it on there. And it sits on there nice. Look at that. It's killer looking. He looks good. He looks really good with that. That's nice. All right, and then this piece here, this is gonna slide on here. So you're gonna have to pop his claw off. Oh. So you're gonna pop his claw off. You're gonna work this. Now, I don't know if it's supposed to go upward or downward. I think it's supposed to go, yep, like this. That's what I would think. It goes right up on the bicep here. So that actually looks really good. I don't know if I'm keeping it in camera because I'm focusing too much on the figure itself, but there we go. Without it getting in the way of any articulation. That is killer. I like it. I love it a lot. He does have wrist articulation, so his wrist will move up and down on these pegs. Mine are just, everything seems to be a little bit stiff, so I'm gonna have to give him, the bath. As you can see, this has untabbed here, so let's get that back on there. Okay, just want to make sure it goes past that tab. There we go. I didn't have it past it the first time. Okay, and then of course you see this right here. You can actually put his weapon, his mace, on the back. This guy is coming together quite nicely. I do say he is looking pretty menacing. Now, as far as this goes, as far as the shield, I don't remember him ever having a shield, so I'm gonna leave that off for a second. But I do want to, because the claws are articulated, so they do open and close. I do want to take his mace. I want to close it in there, and he can hold that. He can hold that pretty well which to me, that's actually looks really good. He is coming together quite nicely with holding everything. Now, as far as this, you have to pop the head off to put this up and over on there. And then it has this little, which is going to clip into the back of this harness. So you just pop his head off. Ooh. Slide this up and over. And then on the back here, just bring it over. Snap that in. I mean, this guy's just looking more and more ruthless as we go on. And I mean, that just adds a little bit more to it. But look at that. That's insanity the way he looks. I mean, he's just, I would not want to run into this guy anywhere. Anywhere. I don't care if it's a Comic-Con. I don't care where it is. I just don't want to run into him. He's just menacing. Look at that. I mean, what a crazy looking character. Now, as far as, you know, either you're going to have his mace in his hand or you're going to have the shield. So let me take this out. Of course, you're going to have to, I don't know if you got to pop off the claw to get this through here or not. Let's see if I can do this. No, just slightly open it, turn it. Oh, there you go. There he is holding his shield. So that's not too bad. That wasn't bad at all. I thought I was gonna have to pop off the claw and all sorts of stuff. But I just don't see him using the shield, and that's just my opinion. Now getting it off is a different story. There we go. All right. So getting him to hold this again. Let's just open this up, slide this a little bit. And I also like the way they did the grooves inside the claw too. I mean, that they've gone all out when it comes to detail on this guy. I mean, he is just amazing. I mean, amazing. Look, he even has the detail inside this claw here, which I didn't point out before. All of that. You know, he can look at you and go, "Hey, Pinch." But anyway, here is Clawful with all of his stuff on him. You don't have to, you know, you don't have to have this harness on to have this on there. You can put that on there by itself or just have him without it. Me, I think I'm going to have him. I mean, he looks so good with all of his accessories on him. I think this is exactly how he's going to stay on my shelf, just like this. All right, guys, I'm going to get him situated, and then we're going to take a look at some comparisons with some other characters in this line, and we'll end this review. Here's how he compares to the Masters of the Universe New Eternia Manny faces. And here's how he compares to Masters of the Universe New Eternia Ram Man. And here's how he compares to the Masters of the Universe New Eternia Faker. Now, in conclusion, as you can see how he stacks up with other characters in this line. And I have to say, look, you know, they have Merman, Grizzlord, Buzzoff, and Faker, which is a part of this line, plus Ramman. These are the newest, this is the newest line that is out. And I have to say, I have Faker, which you've seen, and I have Ramman, which you've also seen, and now Clawful. And they have done some amazing things with these characters. I mean, they've taken them from the days of old and brought them in with a new, fresh look on them. I mean, if you ask me, they've taken it and they've gone from the original Masters of the Universe line to the 2000X line to now this new Eternia line, and they've put them all together and they've come up with something spectacular. And anybody who is a Motu fan is definitely loving this line right now. You are definitely getting, for a reasonable price, you are getting some exquisite figures, man. I'm telling you, you're not going to get anything better than this. And if you miss out on these, hopefully you'll be able to get them in the future. I'm not saying that you can't get them, because you can get them now, which is great. They're you know, they're not making them to where they're not accessible or really hard to get. But like the Classics line, which they were really cool in the Classics line, you know, I missed out on a lot of those. I only have a few of those, and now they're just massively expensive. But if you missed out on that, and plus you figured, you know, 2000X series didn't really have the articulation that these guys have, and the original Masters of the Universe, nostalgic as it is, I mean, this has been brought back to life, brought back to the table. I mean, looking at these figures all together, yeah, I mean, you know, and I'm not leaving Manny Faces out. I'm just, you know, got only enough room for the 3 as of right here because, you know, Manny Faces, maybe, let me see if I can fit him in here. Yeah, see, he's going to get cut off. All right, you know, so I'm just going to leave him out. But even with that, Manny Faces comes with some great stuff. Ram Man, Faker, Clawful, guys, absolutely phenomenal. Mattel has definitely outdone themselves with this line. I can't say anything bad or negative about the line. I mean, I can't say enough good things about it, to be honest with you. And I know this has kind of gone a little bit long in the tooth with this review, but sometimes they have to get across on how great of work a company is putting into for the value of your dollar that you're getting when you buy these figures. Yes, we know we're not going to get real deep articulation with these figures, but you know what? They have tweaked little here's and there's to make it to where you can get at least some great posability out of them. And that right there, my friends, speaks volumes as far as, are they listening to the fans of this line and the consumers? Yes, they are. So with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment down below. And as always, hit that notification bell so you never miss out on anything new. And yeah, catch y'all on Flippity Flip.